very successful season. In just a moment, we're going to turn this interview over to the press. They'll have a question and answer period with you and your players. Media, when you do want to ask a question, let me give you the mic. Speaking to the mic, it helps to record. And so at this time, Coach, some opening comments from you.
Just overall proud of these guys through the season. To be able to start 0-4 and really not lose focus and to rattle off 9 wins and end up in the finals and get this experience is a credit to them. It's a credit to our staff for believing in what we do and who we are. I've said it several weeks in a row there when we had that 0-2, 0-3, 0-4 start. When I was talking to guys at radio meeting and whatnot, that I still like our guys. I still like our team, and we felt like even through those times, we should have been playing them like we played the last 5 or 6 weeks. That quality of football. We had some unfortunate incident early in the year. We played our scrimmage, and we had a couple of kids like myself who got COVID positive. We had to take 13 straight days off, and then get together basically on a Thursday for a pregame, and then start with Calvin week 1. So. That had a lot to do with our style of play, but the growth over the season has been phenomenal. That's what I'm most proud of. These guys believe in us, and we stay out for pretty hard. It's a long season, and they just keep showing up. In regards to tonight, big plays and unfortunate situations, you get 2 big sixes, and you give up a kickoff return for a touchdown, and you get inside the red zone 3 times and don't score. That's why you lose a football game. I'll be the first one to call it. It is what it is. That's 42 points. That's 6 scores. That could be digging up another way. But congratulations to those guys. They made the plays. They played hard. I thought they ran the ball really hard. I thought they tackled well. They played well up front. And it just took us a while to get going. We couldn't finish drives. I think that's the biggest thing that bothers me. Trying to call plays and I feel like I let those guys down by not finding a niche or where we needed to go with football. I thought they did a really good job defensively scheming us up. We got certain situations and we get too over the top of him, which is why we had to spread the ball around. Cam did a really good job, even after the rough start, coming back and playing and just believing in what we do and keep fighting. So I'm looking forward to next year. Obviously, I got to get both these guys are going to be back with me, so that's a big goal. Even last week, I knew he gave me 100% on 100% of plays. A kid that comes off the field, so he's hurt right now, a senior, and I don't know a lot. He's been with me a long time, so that's kind of where we're at. So we're just looking forward to next year. We'll be back.
Question,
Coach. For me, first of all, congratulations on being in the best. I know this is not the result you guys want, but just going back to postseason up to now, you guys have pretty much played pretty well. And are you surprised that the team starting out this slow, coming out in the championship game?
Absolutely. After kind of putting it all together last week against Oak Grove and being really physical and really efficient on offense. And now we did have a couple of turnovers last week, but they were, I put that on me for play calling in those situations. But before that, we had a stretch of 6, 7, 8 games where we didn't turn it over at all. So we were playing well, and I'm very surprised. We didn't make some of the plays that I thought were routine for us, that we made every day in, day out, and is it the venue? Maybe. Is it, but I mean, we were here all day yesterday. We have the same turf for Logansport that they have out here. So, that's no excuse. We have to make the plays. When you're put in a position, you're only going to get certain chances once. All right, and when you don't make that play, you can't go back and do it again. You can't call the same play, the same scenario, and get the same outcome and make it right. There's no do-over. So, absolutely very surprised. I thought defensively we played well. Offense, we put them in a bad position. Crap, we took them off the field. We didn't let them play.
question.
Coach, being down 27-0 at the end of the first quarter, what did you tell your team to try to keep them engaged? And they did fight back in the second half. What did you tell them to not let them let it too bad?
Right. Really nothing. You're here. All bets are off. There's no next week. There's no unknown. So go play loose, and believe in what we do and just go play. Don't get so tight. I felt like if we could have got that last score right before halftime, we would have kind of been sitting in the driver's seat. It's held it down 2.5 scores or whatever it was. But you know, we've been in this position, I've been in this situation as a player, and we ended up winning. We did it last time we were here. And so I believe in our guys, and I believed in our guys, and I still think if we get 2 or 3 plays back, that you know, I'll be doing the second interview.
Coach, this one, two-parter for you and then for Cam. First off, just kind of talk about Cam's development, just over the course of the last couple of years and also this season. You know, I talked to you mid-season, you talked about the relationship you have with him, how special it is, and really tonight, obviously some negative plays, but to come back, to keep fighting, to keep swinging around the yard, talk about, you know, what kind of player he is.
I've always felt like he's going to be special. Even so, when he was a freshman, I put him in situations. He played in every game as a true freshman, at least one series, even all the way down to the semifinals. He ended up playing a bunch for a reason. I wanted him to feel that pressure, even though he wasn't mentally, emotionally, or physically ready. I wanted him to start that maturation process early, whereas most guys don't do it until their 10th or 11th grade year. I forced him into bad situations. I forced him into being uncomfortable. And so last year, as a starter, you know, he came in, all those things were kind of out of the door. And then we started working on the physical development, obviously, through off season and mental. And now we're at such a point where, you know, he and I communicate non-verbally sometimes. I mean, it's a head nod or, you know, a hand gesture, and it's us being on the same page has helped us a lot this year. We've really grown, you know, and I feel like he's an extension of me on the field, and that's phenomenal. He'll come to the sideline even today, and I'm thinking something, I'm about to say it, he'll say it to me, you know, as far as what we're looking for, what we want to call the next play. And so I'm super excited about going into next year with that, because, you know, you feel like you got ace in the hole starting the year. And you know, the other thing is we've got to get him out there, both these guys, and, you know, try to promote him in the off season as much as possible.
And then Cam, if you can, just kind of touch on your performance today. Obviously, some negative plays, but kind of what's going through your head. What are you telling yourself? What are you telling your teammates to stay in this game and to fight for the second half and make it a ball game?
Just trust the process and keep fighting. Be you. That's what I was telling the guys. He always tell me he trusts me for everything, and he always tells me to lead. If I'm down, they gonna be down. If I'm up, they gonna be up. So I try to lift myself up in bad situations and keep those guys moving.
Coach, speak to Cam's resilience from that rough start and then how he bounced back just so strongly. I kind of several touchdowns, just didn't quit and just gave everything and left it on the field.
I think after the second one, you know, he came to the sideline, I could see it in his eyes, you know, and I've been there. It's almost a breaking point where you feel so much pressure and so much responsibility as a quarterback. And here's the deal. We had 2 pick sixes and neither one of them were his fault. But you couldn't tell anybody that's watching this game in here or anybody on the field different because he threw it, right? It's not his fault. If we go back and watch film, we get it on the sideline, and it's not, but he holds that responsibility just like the position should. You take responsibility for everything. If it happens on that field offensively, that's the guy that takes credit. And so, you know, I hold him up, love on him, pat on him. Look, we're going to have him. I can't play without you in the second half. Regardless of what happens, I'll support you 100%. You throw a pick six, I've done it. I've thrown a bunch of them. And so I've been there, and I'm never going to get down on him. And the fact that he's doing something I'm asking him to do and it didn't work out right, that's not his fault. That's not his job. Again, go out, do the things you're supposed to do. He made the right read and the right throw. The ball pick six on the first one because our 2 guys ran together. We got out physical on the outside, they funneled into the inside, the out route, plain man, would have been open, and they run together, the ball's errant, and they pick it off. I mean, that's football, you know. I mean, bad play going south, and on the next one, we're isolated one-on-one, throw slant, all right? They ran through us and made a pick, not his fault. You know, we've got to be better at the other position. Do we take responsibility for that? Absolutely. But we move that, you know, we take that and move forward and keep playing football. You're going to have to play another down. You can't just say, hey, I'm out. You know, there's only one of him. You usually go into a game with a bunch of linemen, a bunch of running backs, receivers. You got one guy in the center. But when he goes down, you go to the next one. He's a number 2 for a reason. All right? And so I'm supporting him, and I will always have his back.
Coach, after the game, obviously it's a very emotional scene. It's the end of the season. But just kind of watching you and watching your team, you guys, you stood there on the sideline, relatively quiet, you looked across the field. How much of that was maybe internalizing the celebration on Homer's sideline and telling your guys, hey, remember this and use this for the next 9 months till we get to next September? How much of that,
Yeah, no
was
doubt.
taken.
And, you know, the little things, I know the seniors are really, really hurt, and I get it, I do. I mean, I hurt for them, but I also told them, you know, even though as bad as it feels right now, you're gonna want to remember this in 30 years. So get up and continue to look around, continue to soak it in, because you're only gonna get to do it once. And as a senior, it's the last time, you know what I mean? The other part is those younger ones, yeah, we've never experienced being on the wrong side. I've never experienced it, and I made this comment this week. And I've always kind of felt like this: if your program's at a certain level where you do this repeatedly, you're eventually going to get beat. You know, and I think you have to come to grips with that. And it's about winning, but it's also about the experience and the things that these guys get to take away from that. Not only just these guys, our band, our cheer, our fans. I mean, our entire town was here tonight. There's nobody left in Logansport, and everybody got to experience what we did. And I don't want to diminish the trip, and I told him I don't want to diminish the experience they had because we took a loss. And as a coach, I take responsibility for that. We lost because I didn't do my job. I didn't have you prepared, so you can blame it on me, and I'm good with that. But I wanted to make sure they understand that this is special, and not everybody gets to do this.
Coach, we talked earlier in the week about Homer's team speed defensively. Did it surprise you in person? Was it faster in person?
I mean, yeah, they have great team speed, but it's not, you know, unbearable. It's not anything we hadn't seen. I mean, we've played 4 or 5 teams in the first 5 weeks that were still playing last week, some over this week. So we're pretty fast ourselves. I mean, it just, the ball didn't bounce right for us tonight. You know, we made 2 or 3 plays. We weren't intimidated by team speed because we can run too. I said earlier, I think we win if we take care of the box. Take care of business in the box. Offensively, we didn't do that because we couldn't establish the right game. All right, and defensively, they ran too much tackles in the box. And I think that was the difference other than the big swing.
Coach, going forward, you guys basically fought back. This wasn't enough. What are you looking forward to for next season that you saw in your team as they compete into this championship?
I just think our young guys are mature, and I'm looking forward to that. We've got some really good groups coming for the next, you know, several years. We've got good groups, 9876, and I've been coaching those guys. My son obviously is in the 6th, and I've been coaching him since he was a kid on the flag. And those guys, you know, for the next 6, 7, 8 years around here, I feel like if you know, we do it the right way, we're going to be consistently good, and we possibly have the opportunity to be, you know, hopefully in this season, see it again someday. But you know, even our juniors and sophomores, and we've got a bunch of freshmen that have played. They're soaking this in, and they're understanding what it means to be resilient. And just because something bad happens doesn't mean the season's over. We're not just going to throw a towel in and make it through the second half of the season. We still expect to win out, and when playoff is, that's when it counts. Nobody remembers we were 0-4. They're going to remember we got beat in the finals. But nobody remembers the 0-4 start when everybody was trying to discredit us and, hey, you throw it, you know, that season's over. That's not the case with us. That will never be the case with me. If that ever happens, I'll retire.
Quick closing comment from your 3 players, Coach.
Thank y'all. We fought to the end. Hey, coach, not look great. No, it's your last year. It was a great game with you. Yeah, I'll see you again.
I told these 2 we were walking out at half. Of course, the score's pretty ugly. I made them step back, and they wanted to run on. I said, look around, because we're coming back. We got another year.
I just wanted to say that I'm glad I got this experience to play in the dome. And it was fun while it lasted, but I mean, the turnout wasn't how it was supposed to be, how we expected it to be, but you know. Just hope we have a chance to come back next year. And for all the seniors, I'm gonna miss them boys for real.
I just want to thank all the coaches and coaching staff and all that for making this awesome for us. And it was fun. We made it all the way to the dome. I hope next year they can end up with a different result. And